Mabuhay Pilipinas! PBA Saturday continues dito sa Cubao, Quezon City at the Big Dome. The Smart Araneta Coliseum magbabakbakan just in a few minutes. Meralco Bolts led by El Granada Gary David, Alex Cabagto Taman para rito sa Global Port Batang Pier. And the Global Port Batang Pier looking for their first victory after losing their first 3 ball games dito sa ating Commissioner's Cup. So a sense of urgency, especially on the part of the Batang Pier ni Coach Fido Harencho. My name is Charlie Cuna. Together with you today for this ball game, Eric Reyes. Eric, talagang kailangan na manalo siguro ng Global Port, try to get this victory dahil very short conference ito.
Well, yun na nga Charlie, itong Global Port, tatlong sunod-sunod na pagkakatalo na. At idagdag mo pa yung dalawa nila last conference. So 5 straight losses dating back from last conference pa itong Global Port, which is actually at the bottom of our team standing. Samantala ang koponan naman ng Meralco nasa parting gitna, which is basically what you want, especially when you have a very short conference elimination round of 9 games.
Very early, sabi nga ng iba rito. Too early to tell where the teams will end up dahil nga 2 or 3 ball games pa lang ang nilalaro ng halos lahat ng koponan. Ngunit 0-3 start, wala pang panalo ang Global Port, kung kaya naman sinasabi nga ng mga tao, they have to make the necessary adjustments to go up. As Eric said a while ago, it's a very short conference, single round robin lang. So 9 games lang sa eliminations, Eric. Tapos bakbaka na sa semis, naglagagad yung bottom 2 teams.
Yun na nga, and that's the reason why Global Port really has to get its act going, because yun na nga, magiging problema talaga pag nabawang ka dun sa number 9 and 10 because ikaw yung unang-unang matatanggal. Samantalang yung 1-8, basically it's similar to last conference wherein 1 versus 8 and 2 versus 7 magiging twice to beat yung top 2. Samantalang yung 3 and 6 and 4 and 5, they will battle it out in a series like a best of 3, Charlie, most especially pagdating sa next round.
So yun ang mangyayari. So you don't want to be in the bottom 2. Right now, Global Port is at the very bottom of the standings. So sabi nga ng sabi ng mga tao, Global Port, Batang Pier, medyo inaanod ng alon yung kanilang koponan sapagkat it's been rough sailing so far in their first ball games. And you know, nakita natin, Air 21 beating them sa kanilang unang laro, 16-point loss against the Alaska Aces. Tapos nung huling laro nila, playing well early against San Miguel Coffee, Eric, biglang nung second quarter, na-stifle sila, only 12 points and they were left behind.
Well, basically, it's going to be a chemistry problem and an offensive problem. There's a lot of adjustments para sa koponan ng Global Port because they have a new coach, new system, and at the same time, new players. So there's a lot of adjustments coming into this game. Pero yun na, kailangan talaga makabawi ng Global Port because not only offense is the problem, nandun pa rin yung problem nila defensively.
Para naman sa Meralco Bolts, yung nagiging source of power nila so far, ang kanilang import na si Brian Butch. They call him the Polar Bear. He's a big guy. He's the tallest of all the imports so far. They lost their first ball game, but he had awesome stats there. Nasundan pa ng napakatinding performance then in their last game against Alaska to get their first victory, Eric.
You know, the good thing about this guy is not flashy, he's not a fantastic player, but he gets the job done. And that's the most important thing for an import coming into any team. You want to actually be the complement to the entire team. He's got a great 3-point shot. He plays his role very well. He rebounds very well. And ang maganda pa rito, Charlie, this guy actually plays great defense. Ang galing pa niya sumapalpal sa ilalim.
Yung makakatapat naman niya, ang import ng Global Port Batang Pier is a balik PBA. Dating naglaro yan sa Baracong Bowl a year ago. Ngayon naman, he's with Global Port, Evan Brock. He's been the lone bright spot, if you want to call it that, after 3 ball games. Dahil yung statistics niya, tinan mo naman, especially yung rebounding totals niya, Eric, 21.7 rebounds a ball game.
You know, impressive. He's still been as solid as a Brock. Ito naman talaga si Evan Brock. Ibang klase naman talaga yung performance. A 2020 performance every single night. So this is actually impressive. What he needs right now is to just be consistent with his performance and a lot of support from his team. And a good thing about Evan Brock is very unselfish. He doesn't really mind doing the dirty job as long as the team would win.
Some people were even questioning yung ability nito si Evan Brock to hit free throws, hit crucial baskets sa endgame in a close ball game. The problem is hindi naman close yung mga laro ng Global Port so far. He's not had that opportunity to show whether he can actually deliver dyan sa clutch time para sa kanyang koponan.
You know, Charlie, what really surprises me is itong Global Port was actually one of the top teams in the All-Filipino wherein they were the league leaders in terms of offense. Now, they're actually the last in offense in the conference, in the second conference, averaging only 7 to 8 points. A far cry from the Global Port that we've seen in the first conference.
At yung mga starters para sa bakbakan na ito, Meralco Bolts, they have Anjo Karam starting at point guard. Ang ganda ng laro niyan sa huling na laban ng Meralco Bolts. Gary David, they have Brian Butch in the middle, Reynald Hugnata na John Wilson naman ang kanilang mga forwards. Para sa mga nakaputing Global Port Batang Pier naman, that's Alex Cabagnot, the new pickup in between conferences in replacement of Sol Mercado. will start at the point. Terence Romeo is also there in the backcourt. Joel Ponferrada ang kanilang sentro. Then you have Evan Brock at Jay Wash ang kanilang mga forwards. So, you know, height-wise, baka lamang pa itong Global Port Batang Pier. Let's see if they can take advantage of that overall. Pero yung Brian Butch, nakita natin sa huling laro nila, Eric, he's quite a presence inside. Hirap na hirap makasaksak ng kalaban.
You know, maganda kay Brian Butch kasi Charlie, hindi siya the guy who just keeps jumping on and try to swat away shots. He just has a quick jump wherein sasabayin lang niya yung mga guys who are operating under the basket.
Losing the ball, Jay Wash, pero nakuha ni Evan Brock. 4 seconds na lang sa shot clock. Brock! Ayun na, nawala na nga ng tuluyan. John Wilson picked it up. Karam wanted to attack, pero nandyan ang depensa ni Alex Cabagon. Underneath, sa unang poste pa lang nitong si Brian Butch, may tulak na si Joel Ponferrada. That's called by referee Jimmy Mariano. He's calling the game with referees Guevara and Marabe. So 31 seconds pa lang, nagpas dito sa ating laro. First quarter pa lang ng labanang Meralco at Global Port. Pugnatan, hinahanap si Guy David, decides to drop it off to Karam. Kicks it to Wilson, wala sa kaliwa. That's a 3-point release. It's in and out para kay John Wilson and Terence Romeo. Naantay ng mga Global Port fans for his breakout game in this conference. Nice pass over to Evan Brock on the move. At a chance for a 3-point play para kay Brock.
You know, Global Port is always known for their fast break attempts. At kita mo in that last play after a missed shot by John Wilson from the corner, takbuhan na kagad itong team ng Global Port. And that's something that even last conference, gustong-gusto ng Global Port pumunta or to their fast break.
May pasok ni Evan Brock yung bonus free throw. 3-0 ang ating score to start this ball game. And you saw on your screens a while ago, Pido Harencio ang bagong coach ng Global Port. Their 4th coach in 5 conferences in the league so far, Eric. And still trying to find some stability. Kanyang koponan on the drive. Brian Butch misses, gets it right back. Natamaan pa mula sa likod. So siya naman ang magkaka-chansa ng 3-point play dito sa ating first quarter.
Actually, makikita mo yung ginawa dito ng Brian Butch. He went up high for that finger roll. Pero kita mo, that's actually quite very basic move for a big guy. After that offensive rebound, huwag mo ibababa yung bola, just go up for that shot.
And sweet shooting as he is. No? Pasok na naman ang kanyang free throw. 3-all ang ating score. Yung dalawang imports ang nakakakuha ng 3 puntos para sa kanilang mga team. Here's Alex Cabagnot playing heavy minutes for Coach Pido Harencio. Although the statistics, sinasabi ng mga observers, not quite up there. Assists, pwede na para yung dating Alex Cabagnot. But scoring-wise, not delivering the way he used to with his former team.
Well, yung assist niya, 8 assists, but Gary David, ever since the start of this second conference, ito si Gary David, tuloy-tuloy na ang kanyang pagputos.
That 3-point shot of Gary is brought to us by PLDT Home Devolution. Turns your ordinary TV into an internet TV. Cabagnot on the drive, on the way up, nawala sa kanyang bola. Meralco is able to steal it away. Gary David tumatakbo, nakita niya si Romeo, gets the contact, throws it off the glass! Didn't get the call, but what a shot, partner.
Yun na nga, mainit talaga pagsisimula ni Gary David dito sa ating komperensya. And once you have Gary David scoring, and that's going to be really very good for the team of Meralco.
So si Romeo is doing the ball handling on that play. Goes to Jay Wash. Jumper, no go. Rebound inside track. Brian Butch, tapi ka ng bola. And Joel Ponferrada raw ang huling nakatapik niyan.
Yes, tumikata from 3-point range. At dito naman from fast break, nabangga pa siya ng bahagyado ni Terence Romeo, pero pumasok pa rin ang pabantang tira.
Yung focus talaga ni Gary David, especially on the offensive end, no? Just keeping his eyes on that window and knocking it off the glass. Ito si Evan Brock on the run. The bounce to Terence Romeo, goes behind his back. Fall away, in and out. Would have been a spectacular move para sa kanya.
Ang ginawa niya behind the back dribble, Charlie.
So no go there. Lamang ng tatlo itong Meralco Balls, 8-5. Almost 3 minutes gone by. He likes it from the 3-point area, Brian Butch, pero wide right ang kanyang tira. It bounces away and Evan Brock is with the ball once again. Alex Cabagnot, open from 3. Says why not, but it bounces out. Pangalawang beses na yan para sa Global Port in succession. The ball was practically in, pero niluwa pa ng ring. Anjo Karam, quick pass to Butch. Inside the hook natin! What teamwork mula dito sa Bolts?
No, he's actually, itong si Brian Butch, napakaganda yung pagkakadating niya for Meralco because not only is a dead shot from the outside, he gets everybody involved in their offense.
Yan si Reynolds natin, one of the best talaga at moving without the ball. Nakapwesto na, nag-aantay ng pass. And his teammates are conscious of where he is. It's easy to find him. Evan Brock bumawi naman. 7 points na para rito kay Brock. Early goings. And you know you're gonna get those solid statistics, Eric, mula dito kay Evan Brock. Every game, in and out, workhorse naman yan. As Brian Butch answers on the other end, nakikita natin yung mga imports nagpapalitan dito. You can see it's gonna be a battle between these two guys.
I was really expecting it to be more of a defensive game because yun ang game ng Meralco. But so far, both teams are actually scoring well here early in the first.
Jay Wash turnaround jumper. That's short. Rebound. Bounces into John Wilson's hands. Anjo Karam magdadala ng bola para sa Meralco Bolts. Iniiwan para kay Gary D. No hesitation from 3. Pakalawa na ni Gary, and that's brought to us by PLDT Home Evolution. Turns your ordinary TV into an internet TV. 8 points for El Granada. Lamang ng Meralco Bolts, 8 points, and all those 8 points coming from Gary David. What a conference so far. Pangatlong laro nila ng Meralco Bolts ito. 16 points, almost 6 rebounds a game, and 3 assists across the board and stats ni El Granada.
You know, he actually came in as expected, and that's the reason why Gary David kinuha nga dito ng mga bansang Meralco because napakaganda naman as an offensive player to complement a great defensive team.
What a soaring attempt to get that that rebound para kay Evan Brock. Hitting the deck and losing it over to the Orange men. Karam, kick to Wilson. Decides to bring it closer. Linea pa bola. Wilson gets the basket. Chance pa mga 3-point play.
You know, he's known for his shots from the outside, but the good thing about what John Wilson did, he did the first shot fake, and he went for a higher percentage shot kasi nakita niya that there was a hole in that defense.
John Wilson has played well para sa Meralco Bolts. And minsan inaasahan ni Coach Ryan Gregorio yan for scoring. Tapos minsan lockdown defender naman ang kanyang role para sa kanyang koponan. So lots of ways that John Wilson is helping his team. On that play, 3 puntos ang nakuha, 18-7. Double digits na ang lamang ng Meralco. 7 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Ito si Brock, not quite as effective from out there. Ponferrada decides to take it. Swak ang tira ni Jewel Ponferrada.
Well, kung isasag mo nga naman yung depensa daw sa kanya, they might as well just take that jump shot. That's actually a good shot for a big guy 15 feet away.
Second-year man out of National University. And after hitting that basket, had to run down Eric dito sa defensive end para bantayan naman yung import ng Meralco. Yan ang trabaho ni Jewel Ponferrada.
Well, nakakuha na ng 2 points si Ponferrada aside from playing great defense on Brian Butch. So maganda. Kumbaga nasulit na ni Coach Pito Horencio yung minuto ni Jewel Ponferrada.
Ito si Hugnata. Evan Brock naman nakabantay sa kanya. They go to Brian Butch. Top of the key, 3! That's brought to us by PLDT Home Evolution. Turns your ordinary TV into an internet TV, and he matches Gary David. 8 points apiece for Butch and David.
You know, if you're assigned to an import and you know out of the scouting reports that he's a dead shot from the outside, you cannot give him that space.
Sinagot naman yung 3 ni Brian Butch. Ito si Terrence Romeo. That's also brought to us by PLDT Home Evolution. Turns your ordinary TV into an internet TV. Brian Butch, susubukan ng depensa ni Ponferrada, goes under it and gets the easy scoop.
Nahihilo na doon si Jewel Ponferrada because tinitirahan na siya sa labas. Maganda pa yung movements doon sa ilalim with that upper and under move.
Ganda ng shooting so far ng mga teams partner. 50% ang global port. Yung kabilang team naman 75%.
You speak of fantastic shots. It's Terrence Romeo is actually on fire right now, hitting a 3-point shot and a nice penetration at that last piece of action.
5-point cluster para kay Terrence Bill Romeo. Ang Philippine Cup. Halos kino-concede na ng ibang mga fans na siya magiging Rookie of the Year. Pero mahaba ang ating season. And lots of things can still happen in this conference as well as in the next. Pero Terrence Romeo has left already quite an impression sa maraming PBA fans. Siya may dala ng bola ngayon. Anjo Karam nakabantay sa kanya. Creates some space. And he misses that jumper. Everyone was expecting it to drop dahil naka dalawang tira na diretso. Ito si John Wilson. Stutter step. Takes it fading away mula sa kanan. No one there for the rebound from the Orange men. Nakuha ni Evan Brock. Tumatakbo ang Global Port Batang Pier. Romeo once more from Rainbow Country. That's brought to us by PLDT Homes Evolution. Turns your ordinary TV into an internet TV. 8 points na rin. Itong si Terence Romeo para sa Global Port. 6 na lang lamang ng Meralco. This PLDT Home to Evolution PBA Commissioners Cup Conference is presented to you by PLDT Home to Evolution. Turns your ordinary TV into an internet TV. Dito po kami sa Smart Araneta Coliseum kung saan yung mga fans enjoying so far the exchanges between the usual suspects. Gary David on one side, Terence Romeo naman sa kabila.
You know, this is something that every Global Port fan would want to see. You have a Terence Romeo going wild early and trying to get his confidence going, because this is basically ang laro ng Global Port na nakita natin in the All-Filipino. Kaya talagang isa sila sa mga tinangkal na teams na talaga na pagdating sa opensa talagang maasahan mo.
Bola na sa Meralco Balls. 4:30 remaining in the quarter. John Wilson goes in. Swatted away by Evan Brock. That athleticism talaga ito si Evan Brock. Siya na rin ang nasa kabila. Can he finish? Starting that play with a block on one end. Siya nag-finish ng layup sa kabila. Nakita mo naman. Grabe talaga ito si Evan Brock, workhorse.
You know, energy always starts from a great defensive effort. That's what Evan Brock did. Kaya naman he had full energy going back on offense. At dire-diretso naman siya nakakuha ng layup.
Sabihin ni Mandani, okay ba pasa ko sa'yo, Reynel? Bitin ang tira ni AJ Mandani. But was able to get it back. Ito si Reynel Lugnato. Ito nga sinasabi natin a while ago tungkol kay Evan Brock.
And look at that effort, getting up for that defensive that block. That nakakuha naman siya ng easy basket of transition.
And a while ago nakita nga natin AJ Mandani, siya nagdadala ng bola para kay Coach Ryan Gregorio. And that was their attack at the point guard position last ball game against the Alaska Aces. Anjo Karam, AJ Mandani, guys who don't get much minutes, but because wala nga ito si Mike Cortez, he'll be out for the entire conference. Kausap natin siya just a while ago before the game started. And Jared Dillinger nasa sick bay pa rin for missing his second straight ball game. So these two guys have to step it up, and so far Meralco with the lead. So okay pa ang performance, but Mandani having trouble handling the ball. They gotta cross the timeline quickly. A second to go. Yun, eksakto lang. Pero masyado malakas naman ang bato. And out of line, it hits the fan on the side of the court, and the ball will go back sa Global Port na may tsansang makalapit pa lalo after being down by as much as 12 earlier at 21-9. Ngayon, 5 na lang.
Yes, that's good pressure from the backcourt by Global Port, forcing Meralco to just hurry it up kasi maubusan na nga sila ng oras dun sa backcourt.
And an N1, possible N1 situation para kay Terence Romeo. Tinirahan itong si AJ Mandani harap-harapan, and Mandani clipped his arm.
This is something that's going to be good para sa koponan ng Global Port. You need Terence Romeo to wax hot, because yun na nga, ang problema ng Global Port na previous 3 games, wala silang opensa. Ngayon, ang ganda na ng nilalaro ni Terence Romeo.
11 points na para kay Terence Romeo noong huling laro nila. Only 12 minutes played. He just had 1 field goal. So they're looking for big things from him. Noong first conference sa ating Philippine Cup, Eric, yung unang breakout game niya, naka-34 yata siya. Tayo rin dalawang nag-cover doon, and he was putting on an amazing show in that ball game. Followed it up with a great performance against Barangay Ginebra. Yung nag-duel sila ni Mark Kagiwa the game right after that. So alam na natin yung kayang gawin itong si Terence Romeo.
You know, for any player, Charlie, pag makakuha ka talaga ng isang breakout game, nagtutuloy-tuloy na because mataas ang iyong kumpiyansa. And, you know, offense, actually shooting is all about being confident about making your moves on the court.
2 free throws para kay Brian Butch, import ng Meralco Bolts, former Wisconsin player. Played at the US NCAA. Nakalaro na rin sa NBA D-League yan. John Wilson will go to the bench at pinasok na si Ray Guevara. Pero tama yung sinabi mo kanina, Eric, eh. Nothing spectacular about this guy, Butch. Pero yung stats niya, nandyan. Tapos, tuwan-tuwa naman sa kanya teammates niya. His coach seems to like him a lot.
Hindi mo naman siya makikitang sobrang bilis or yung nagdadadunk kung ano-anong malakas tumalon. But magugulat ka na lang at the end of the game, he'd give you 25 points and he'd actually be solid on the defensive end. Doesn't really commit too many fouls because ang maganda sa kanya, sinasabayan lang niya yung umaatake sa kanya going to the basket.
In fact, yung pinakamalaking effect na niya dyan inside is just his mere presence. Diba? Naiiba na yung tira ng kalaban. Here's Brock on the drive. Wanted to go to Nabong. And nice save mula kay Kelly Nabo pero naubusan na ng 24-second shot clock ang Global Port trying to go to Mark Macapagal on that play.
Another thing that Global, or actually Meralco is doing is when they have Brian Butch help out on a guy like Evan Brock, maganda yung rotation do sa ilalim. There's a drop-down defense. That's why it's not really that easy to give a pass after a challenge by Brian Butch.
Good defense by Macapagal on Brian Butch. Despite the height disadvantage, hindi siya pumayag na tumira mula sa tres si Brian Butch. Mandani with the ball. A second to go, Hugnatan from outside. Missing the three-pointer, iniiwan na lang nila. Sabi ni Brock, kaya ko pa naman kunin eh. Halika na, huwag na tayo mag-inbound.
And here's the defensive effort, Charlie. Maganda defensive effort to the Global Port.
Well, the defense has obviously picked up. Kita-kita naman natin in the past few plays. That's why the lead has gone from 12 down to just 3. Pero ngayon, approaching the 2-minute mark here in the first quarter. But on the attack once again, trying to create more space between them and the Batang Pierre. No go on the Mandani drive. Terence Romeo pass in the lane. Brock behind the back. Nabong! Yun na nga yung presence ni Brian Butch na sinasabi natin. Shot clock continues to run. Macapagal will kick. The block! There's the slammer in!
That was a power move, Charlie. You cannot do a layup in front of Brian Butch. You just have to go strong and dunk it. And that's what ginawa ni Evan Brock. Going strong from the baseline.
And we know that Evan Brock likes to take it strong to the basket. Ang hilig dumakdak ng mamang ito. Last year, nakikita na natin yan when he was here for the first time. And on that play, there was no other choice. As you said, kailangan talagang agresibo ang drive mo kontra rito kay Brian Butch. He missed, actually the dunk bounced out, di ba? Hindi malinis yung dunk na yun, but he still gets that 2 anyway. Hard-hitting MMA action, PXG 43, magbakbakan sila Sang Chan at Somdet for the flyweight title fight, March 29, 8 p.m. in Ares Sports Arena. Tickets available as tickets from Ticket World outlets. And Macapagal, napapabutan ni Mandani, but he's able to lay that ball in. Hey, lamang na ang Global Port ng isa, 26-25. What a spirited comeback mula sa kanila.
You know, look at the way Global Port is doing. The difference is they're actually pressuring from the backcourt. They're denying the passes. Kaya nauubusan na ng shot clock itong kupunan ng Meralco ball. So they're forcing Meralco to go actually fast break or bilisan yung laro rather than that setup offense na ginagawa talaga ng Meralco Balls. You look at the stats, Meralco Balls, mababa lang ang kanilang fast break average per game. Halos wala nga because they'd rather set the ball and try to get the ball to guys like Brian Butch who will really make those baskets.
Mandani's at the line para sa free throws. Ito mapapanood na sa TV5, Action TV at Hyper ang NCAA March Madness. That starts on March 19. And there was a backward foul mula kay RR Garcia who was checked into the ball game. Alam naman natin RR and Terence Romeo, mga FU Tamaros, played together for several seasons. Parehong nag-MVP yan sa UAAP level. And on the second free throw miss, pika ng bola, it's gonna be Meralco left touch. So Global Port with the possession, 26-all ang ating score. 1 minute and 12 na titira sa ating first quarter. Romeo. Ibarra, bantay, sarado. Pero dazzling with his moves, Terence Romeo. But he doesn't get the basket. Kelly Nabong, strong inside. Hands in the air. Brian Butch once again. Pinahirapan na naman ang big man ng Global Port.
You got to appreciate also the effort of Kelly Nabong. But yun nga lang, once you get underneath with Brian Butch, you're actually forced to do a shot fake and basically that's what he wants. And by the time you get up in the air, masasabayan ka na niya.
At na-foul pa nila ito si Brian Butch, kaya dalawang free throws para kay Brian Butch. Penalty situation ang Global Port. You talked about Kelly Nabong. Great effort. You know what a season he's having so far para dito sa Global Port. Nung Philippine Cup natin, he would start at times tapos or he would be the first big man off the bench para dun kay Coach Richie Tixon at the time. Ang ganda na pinakita niya, second and third efforts under the basket. May jump shot na pinapakita. At pinakamaganda kay Kelly Nabong, Eric, hindi na masyadong hot-headed niya.
Hindi na nga. Basically, nabigyan talaga siya ng malaking kumpiyansa because of the minutes na binigay sa kanya ni Coach Dixon the previous conference. Ngayon naman talaga napapakinabangan niya because of that confidence. But look at that. Para pinitas lang ng yung prutas galing sa puno, no?
Wala na, no chance yung tira na yun. And Danny Ai at the baseline. Good tap away mula kay Kelly Nabong. Tumama pa sa may paa. Ito si Danny Ai. So ball goes the other way. 25.4 remaining in this quarter. So halos last second shot time na para sa Global Port. Trailing by just one. Ito na lang makuha yung lamang bago matapos ang ating first 12 minutes. Romeo with the ball. Being watched by Ray Guevara. He makes his move. Goes left, goes right. The cut mula kay Nabong. The jumper. Pasok yan para kay Kelly. 2.7 to go. Mandani checks the clock. He'll hoist it from half court. And miss the goal completely after the first 12 minutes. Nice action we're seeing so far. 28 and 27 is Gary David. Maagang nagpakita. Sinagot naman ng rookie si Terence Romeo. 11 points already in double digits for Romeo. Much to the delight of the Global Port fans. At the end of the first quarter, ang ating score, isa lang ang lamang ng Global Port, 28 to 27. Muling balikan ng blockbuster na semis at finals ng nakaraang Philippine Cup. Sundan ang ibang mga bukod tanging kwento sa likod ng mga seryeng ito sa Kwentong PBA. That's March 18 and 25, 9:30 p.m. sa TV5. Second quarter action underway. Meralco Bolts, Raba Alusaini is in the ball game para kay Coach Ryan Gregorio. Kasama niya Danny Ai, AJ Mandani, Ray Guevara, and Cliff Hodge. Nakabantay naman ng mga Global Port Batang Pierre, Mark Macapagal, John Don Salvador, Romeo, R.R. Garcia, and Kelly Nabong. So upo mo na yung mga imports dito sa ating second quarter. I'm Charlie Cuna together with Eric Reyes from the Big Dome, and AJ Mandani hits a three. That's brought to us by PLDT Home Devolution. Turns your ordinary TV into an internet TV.
These are the guys like AJ Mandani stepping up in the absence of their point guard, which is Mike Cortez and even Jared Dilger. Sila yung mga dahilan, and like Anjo Karam playing well in that previous game. Sila yung mga reasons kung bakit nanalo ang Meralco Bolts.
And the miss mula kay R.R. Garcia. So Meralco, maatake na naman. Dalawa na uli ang kanilang lamang after they had lost it just a while ago. Cliff Hodge takes a three. That's back-to-back threes for Meralco. That's brought to us by PLDT Home Devolution. Long tulang ba? Long tulang daw, hindi pala 3-pointer yun. From Cliff Hodge, stepped on the line.
What's the nice thing about the Meralco Bolts, they move the ball around a lot and they try to get an open shot.
Here's John Dan, handoff dito kay R.R. Garcia, who seemed to walk with that ball bago siya tumigil. Hindi nag-dribble. Ito, back to Macapagal, and there's a foul. Cliff Hodge ang natawagan, kanyang unang personal. Mark Macapagal, of course, used to wear that Meralco uniform also. Gary David naman, just last conference was with the Global Port Batang Pierre. Raba Luceni's rebound off the Global Port miss. Ito, 10:25 remaining in the first half. Meralco gusto bang dagdagan ang kanilang 4-point lead. Here's Mandani. Pero Cliff Hodge, hinahanap sana si Raba, pero Danny Ai decides to take the jumper. Left side. Talagang kupas-kupas talaga. Danny Ildefonso, that jumper's been there for many years in this league.
So far, Meralco points are coming off the perimeter. That's why it will force Global Port to really close out more defensively.
Sinagot naman ni John Dan Salvador, and he looks at Danny Ai as if to say, oh, you got one on me, I get one on you. Ito si Raba. Handling the ball, handoff dito kay Ray Guevara. Guevara decides to take the jumper. Pasok din para rito kay Ray Guevara. That's a three-pointer. That's brought to us by PLDT Home Devolution. Turns your ordinary TV into an internet TV. Sabi mo nga, perimeter shots falling for the two teams right now. Jondan left open again, and he makes Danny Ai pay once again. Hindi respeto ni Danny Ai yung outside shot dito si Jondan. 2 beses na yan.
Well, both teams actually shooting very well from the perimeter, and that's the reason why there's not really much ball movements or slash or attacks to the basket. Pero kung yun na, maganda kasi doon, nakakakuha sila ng mga open jumpers.
Ito si Mandani, tight guarding from RR, had to go to Danny Ai. Makapagal, the smaller player is guarding Danny Ai. He recognizes that. And the veteran that he is, konting up fake lang, nakuha na agad.